Hey y'all, how you doing? It's me, Shalita, the nonprofit Easter O'Neill, and we freestyling again today. You know, I gave y'all a heads up to let me know if you had any questions, any thoughts, what's going on with you, what's the nonprofit world. And it's not even just about the nonprofit world. We bring our full selves to this work. So how are you feeling? What's going on in your world? What might be hindering you or motivating you as an individual to do the work in the community? What are some things that are coming up for you? Let's have a discussion. It's all about you. You're the special guest. I know typically I've had special guests almost every week, but with an exception of when we did our freestyle the week before last. But I want to make sure I pepper in these freestyling opportunities too, because this is an exchange. And, you know, sometimes we don't always have to have an idea of what the topic is going to be. We just need to roll with it. So who's out there? I see you looking at me. I see you looking. How you doing? You going to come in here and say hi? I'm going to give you a second. Who's watching? Like I know Juanice had already said she had set her clock. She was going to make sure she didn't miss the hashtag nonprofit no filter live today. So she said she was going to be in here. So where you at? Where my people at? Where you at? Patricia! Look, we're going to put some music on for you. What y'all know about D-Train? Hey, Patricia. Y'all know I ain't got no sense. I'm just, you know. I feel like we need some light. We need some love. We need some good energy out there. So I'm putting it out there for you. Grab a hold of it. Take what you need. But I want you to give some of your energy too. So come on here, you know, and talk to me. Talk to me. Now I know, you know, I'm just on a high right now. I'm always, y'all know me, I'm always on 150% all the time. And then I had some coffee. So it's a little bit extra. But I was, you know, y'all know my work is around community development. It's around social action, activism. That's just me. That's always been me, right? And so this morning I had an opportunity to talk to, there's one of my clients that I've been working with, grassroots organization in Baltimore. And he really inspired me, y'all. Listen. Okay, Jacksonville, Florida, what's up? TNS Hero or TN Sheroes. I got to get it together now. I need you to put your name down there so I can make sure I get it right. Okay, Overthinkers Music. Ain't no such thing as overthinking. We need more thinking nowadays. All right. Personified Greatness in the building. Come on, we'll put some music on. Come on, we got this. Come on through. Come on, get some of this love. Okay? Y'all got to download D-Train. I'm telling you. Husband told me about, you know, old school back in the day, but you can't be in a bad mood and listen to D-Train. You just can't. You just can't do it. So I want you to do that. But I was saying, so I was talking to this brother, has a grassroots organization in Baltimore City that is working with Black men who are fathers, right? And so he was talking about just the work that he was doing as a Black father himself, and just, you know, trying to overcome some of the mental oppression, right, that has been deliberately planted in our community, you know, historically, with breaking families apart and, you know, with Black men being incarcerated and demonized and all these different things. And he's like, you know what, we can come together and, you know, help and support each other, right? Because there's this narrative out there that makes it seem like, well, Black fathers aren't in the picture or don't want to be in the picture. But I challenge y'all to dig deeper. But this brother was talking about healing. He was talking about, you know, healing on an individual level, because a lot of times we go out here and we want to manifest things and we want to change things, which we, you know, that's amazing. But we also have to heal and unpack, what does that really mean to us? What are some of the things that we are carrying that we don't really know that we're carrying that is feeding into the issues that we are seeing in our community, right? So just for him to be talking about taking care of our bodies, taking care of mind, body, and spirit aligned. Like if any of those pieces are not being nurtured, the whole thing is just out of balance. So he was just talking, spirit talk. He was like, I'm just going to let spirit talk right now. I'm going to tell you about my program. I'm going to tell you about, I was like, it just gave me so much hope. And he's not the only grassroots organization. That's who I work with. I work with grassroots organizations, community activists, entrepreneurs that are in the BIPOC, that are in the community trying to make a difference. And it has blessed my soul. Y'all are blessing my soul. And so me being here and being able to share whatever knowledge, whatever information I have that I know ultimately is going to upbuild our communities, but then facilitate healing, y'all. Can you say it with me? Say it with me. Healing is what we're trying to do. Eli, you said, good morning, Shalita. Ready to see what's going on today. Love the old school music, Dallas, Texas. And you said my name correctly the last time. Okay. So Ellie. Okay. Not Eli, Ellie. Okay. Got it. Because I got to make sure, because my name is Shalita. And y'all know how people do with that. Sharita, Shakira, Shanika, can't seem to get it right. So I want to make sure I get people's name right. So we said Ellie. Okay. All right. So where you at? What's going on? Y'all in the building? How you feeling today? What's going on? Talk to me. You can put some music on. What's going on? Did you hear what he said? The strength of your mind, you can be set free. What's going on out there? Come on in. Come sit down. Come on. Come on in. Because y'all know if I start talking, I ain't going, I'm just going my own way and start talking about stuff. So if you have a specific thing that you're working through or that's on your mind or that you need support, I know I've been asking in the groups, what you're talking about, partnerships. Some people say I need some support with partnerships. Are you looking for fiscal sponsors? Like, what is it? We all talk about fundraisers, and raising dollars. And y'all know at nauseum, I've talked about some strategies around how you can do that because it's, everybody has been affected in one way or another around that, especially nonprofit organizations. So what are we talking about today? Like what are you feeling? What is your issue that you want to bring to the forefront to get some sort of support or guidance around? We talked about board members. I know last week I had Walt McNeil on, and we were talking about we were talking about how to start a housing program for young people, and he specifically worked with foster youth. So what is it that, is that something that you want to do? Is it, you're having issues with that, or maybe you've experienced some successes with it? What would you, what advice do you have? What do you like to call it? Sugar sharing. I told you about the sugar sharing when we share resources, right, with our neighbors or with people in the community that are trying to also do the same thing. How are we actually reaching out to people in our community who are doing, because y'all, we start nonprofits without actually checking to see if there's someone else that's doing similar work or if there's a way that we can partner and collaborate. And, so how are we, have you been doing that? Have you been checking in? Have you been trying to find out, well, who's doing what so that I can collaborate if collaboration is possible, because you don't need to collaborate with everyone. So what's going on? Patricia, where you at? What's she said, I'm in here. You still in here, Patricia? What's going on? Talk to me. I know, and you got access to the nonprofit template heaven and things. So let me know how that is. And I just want to let y'all know too that we're having another virtual Visionaries of Color nonprofit summit that's coming up on Saturday, November 7th. So y'all know the last time we did it in May on a Saturday, and people were like, I couldn't make it. I want to be there, you know. So if you are a visionary of color and you're working to build an organization, or you're just thinking about it, hey, the startup genie, hey. We're freestyling today. So come on, tell me what you're thinking about, what you need some support with. But I was talking about the Visionaries of Color nonprofit summit. So y'all know how I feel about combining personal, individual healing with healing in community context, but also looking at the technical part of how do you manifest what it is that you know your community needs, and in a way that makes sense, in a way that's going to make sure that we can rebuild our communities from the inside out. So we'll have our nonprofit elders, who I consider nonprofit elders, people who have been in the community for, you know, years, 30, 40 years doing this work, who want to also step in to be mentors to us, because, you know, us nonprofit visionaries just coming up in the game, you know, there's information that we need. And I feel like in our community, that divide has really cost us a lot. Us being disconnected from the knowledge of our elders. So, you know, if you want to be a part of, come and be a part of an event that is tapping into that healing, that's giving honor to, you know, where we come from, but at the same time, letting you know just what this nonprofit landscape truly is for people of color. Because now that it's being uplifted in conversation, and we have, you know, different people that are shifting funds in attention to grassroots organizations, or organizations based on or that are working towards racial justice. You know, you need to understand the lay of the land. You need to understand some things that are unspoken. So you know, come on through with that. I'm gonna go ahead and put the website up that you can go to register for more information. It's the VOC, and I gotta edit this one because I put the wrong date on it the last time. It is 11/7, 11/7, 11/7, 11/7. There go those numbers again, 11, 11, 11. Yeah, I'm gonna put that up here. So on Saturday, November 7th, the VOCsummit.com. Register. We also have different ticket types. So we've got the general ticket type. We also have, I don't like to call it VIP, but I call it Umoja, where you have an opportunity to meet one-on-one or in a small, intimate group for a private lunch with funders and other people in the community that can give you specific feedback or customized feedback to what your organization is doing. So make sure you go there and take a look. Okay, share it. And if you are not a person of color, or if you are a BIPOC serving organization and you're not a person of color, we also have a New Roots discussion, New Roots racial equity and inclusion discussion for those organizations who are serving BIPOC communities, but also need to do a little bit of introspection, right? On how can they change some things or start to realize or uncover some of the things that need to be changed on a personal level, and also in an organizational context to be able to reduce the trauma on communities of color. So y'all want more information about that? I will share that here as well. Who with me? Who on here with me now? Let me see. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so startup, Jen, you said you applied for your 501c3 July 22nd. Okay. So was it the 1023 EZ or the traditional form? Because then that means it'd be a couple months, but patience is key. Yep, and let me reshare the link. Hold up. Let me go ahead, and I want y'all to get this information. So right there, the VOCsummit.com. And then we also want to make sure the New Roots event. And, you know, even if you are a person of color or BIPOC, you can still attend the New Roots as well. I'll put that up there. And that's an event that my company, Grow Charity Events, is hosting, just as the VOC Summit. You know, so my whole thing is giving back to BIPOC communities in those areas. So make sure you get plugged in. You know, who else is on here? Now hold up. Let me go back to the comments. Okay, Leveling Up Visionaries. Ooh, I like that. Tell me a little bit more about that. Tell me a little bit more about that. So you want to start putting up your own money to level up 10 potential underprivileged visionaries and document the process, and then use that along with our proposals to gain funding. Oh, okay. Hold on, let me take this banner down. Y'all got the, hold on, put this up though. I like that. I like that. And so maybe we can have some time to talk together about what that, you know, what that could look like, or what that looks like for you, what your vision is. If I could be helpful in any way with that, just let me know. And then Patricia, you said, I actually love the templates. It came in handy this past weekend when I got an emergency homeless youth who has a 1-year-old baby and I needed an intake form. You better say it, Patricia. Look, nonprofit template heaven. And I'm gonna show you, y'all can go on my website for that. And put that up there too. I have a bunch of resources that I want y'all to take advantage of. I know sometimes you're like, okay, I don't have any money to invest, or I don't have any money for a one-on-one consultation, or I don't even know if I'm ready for a one-on-one consultation. And that's completely fine. There's so many other things, like free resources that I put out there. If you don't like my YouTube, or haven't liked my YouTube channel, or subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I have, I think, 70 videos on there that talk about all different issues that everything that you could be, thinking about. We're talking about board members, we're talking about fundraising, we talk about mindset, we talk about all of that. That's free information. Make sure you go in there and you get that. Also, if you're not a member of the Nonprofit Visionary Academy Facebook group, join that Nonprofit Visionary Facebook group. Nonprofit Visionary Academy Facebook group. Join that. That's free. I've posted units that have information on all kinds of fundraising, all kinds of collaboration. You name it, it's in there. And then you also get to share information with each other, with other nonprofit visionaries. That's free. Now here I got the hashtag nonprofit no filter member, the membership. So there's different levels of membership, but they all give you access to the nonprofit vision, the nonprofit template heaven that I was just telling you about. Where if you need, it's over 60 templates on everything from job descriptions to all of the documents you need to file your paperwork, to federal grant proposals, to local grant proposals, to memorandums of understanding, to event planning documents. You name it, it's in there. I'm trying to make this easy. I'm trying to make this easy for you, so you get this knowledge and get this information so you can get in these rooms, so you can get the resources that you need in order to rebuild your communities, right? So this is my reasoning behind this. So make sure that you are tapped into those pieces. The membership, like I said, there's a $25 a month membership that gives you access to the templates. And there's a $45 membership that gives you access to not just the templates, but the online courses that I've developed. Dream Your Nonprofit in a Weekend, Seed Your Nonprofit for Success, talks about everything you need to know from launching your organization to raising funds for your organization. That's part of the membership. And then the Build It membership, which is $95 a month, which includes 30 minutes of one-on-one coaching with me. Okay, so there's no excuse. Now, if you're ready, you like, look, leader, I know I need that one-on-one coaching with you. Look, reach out for a 1-hour consultation with me. Or if you're like, look, I just want to get started. Come on, y'all. There's no reason why you should be out here trying to figure things out by yourself. Okay. So event planning. Yes. Event planning documents. So I've got role descriptions for the planning committee members. I've got work plans, like timelines that you need to be able to keep everybody organized. Sponsorship letters, sponsorship levels People go, how do I structure my sponsorship levels for my events? It's in the nonprofit template heaven. Let's say I don't want to, you like, I don't want to be a member. I don't want to do any of that. I just want the templates. Just go on my website, go under shop or the store, and it's there. It's $37. $37. That's it. Listen, Kay Anderson, thank you. I'm out here for real. Look, I'm out here for real for y'all. It ain't, oh, I'm out to get some money. No, I ain't never been about that. I'm good. But at the same time, you know, this expertise, the mistakes that I have made, the barriers that I've overcome, the information that I have gotten that I'm giving to you is also worth something, right? It's valuable. So I've learned that when you invest in yourself, other people also invest in you, and you get the information you need without making mistakes that cost you more money than had you just been like, okay, I'm going to reach out for help, because none of us knows everything. And one thing that I have learned too, and I always say, you surround yourself with people who are where you want to be, you know. And I think Miss Sandy in one of our previous interviews or our show, she said that she was like, if you want to be a millionaire, then you need to be surrounding yourself with millionaires. If you want to be a millionaire, you're talking to people who's sitting there like, can I borrow $2 from you because I ain't got it? Then, you know, not to say those people don't have a place in your life, but you need to prioritize being in the space with people who are where you want to be. And from me doing that, I've learned everybody has a coach. Everybody has a mentor. You can't be a mentor to anyone else or saying that you're moving things forward professionally and be a leader in the community if you yourself do not have a coach. So, you know, there's plenty of coaches out here. I may not be the coach for you. You know, I'm very clear about my connections. I've been very clear with Spirit about who I want to connect with. You know, we got to be able to vibe. We got to, you know, you got to be about the business, and we're going to have fun and everything, but I am not for everyone. So you need to be vetting people. And that's what I also said. You know, I've been in different groups, in different nonprofit, you know, Facebook groups that talk about, you know, either helping nonprofit visionaries or people that are starting up and things like that. And, you know, sometimes people get in those groups and they're just like vultures, you know, on the people or the visionaries who are just starting, and they're like, oh, I can get you that. Oh, I can do that. I don't know if y'all saw Ralph Rex the Internet, if you got kids, and how they walk into the internet and there was all these pop-ups everywhere, like, hey, come see my service. Hey, why don't you talk about? And it kind of feels like that. And I'm not that person. You know, if I can jump in and plant a seed and say, here's some information, or, you know, look into, you know, what I can offer, you know, I'll do that if it's allowed. But my thing is, everybody ain't for everybody. Do your vetting. Vet people. Because another thing that really hurts me is when I connect with a client who's like, I'm traumatized because there was this one consultant that told me they were going to do this for me. They said that they were going to, you know, provide A, B, and C, and I paid them thousands of dollars and they didn't deliver. And now they're like, I don't know if I can do this again. I don't know. How do I know that you are not, you know, like them? Y'all know me. You should know me by now. I've been putting videos out here. You know, I've been, you can go on the website. You can Google me. You can Google me. I'm about the business. I have a track record of being effective and making stuff happen, right? So I'm not worried about that. But it hurts me to see that. So I need you to vet people. I need you to, if someone says, oh yeah, for, you know, my course, you can do this. Wonderful. All right. And if that person resonates with you and you see that they've got a track record, a good track record, they can provide references to you, you know, that they are organized. And you can see, like, make sure that you're doing that, because if you don't and you get got, that's on you. That is, listen, hashtag nonprofit, no filter. You vet everything else. I need you to vet the consultants. And yes, and it says Facebook user because it won't tell me your name, because you got to click and give StreamYard the permission to share your name if you're on Facebook. So, hey, Miss Marva. That's my baby. Hey, Miss Marva. Yes, but Facebook, you said, I am vetting. Yes, vet your volunteers, vet your board members, Vet the people. Listen, let's take it a step further. Vet the people in your life. Vet the people, the friends, the new people that are trying to come in and want to, kiki it up, especially you doing something, you got those people who want to come and be a part of. Vet them, because then we sometimes let our anxiousness, our excitement to create something in the world to overshadow the red flags that we see. Right? People have to vet people to be in your space because it is a sacred space. And the people who you let in that space is either going to help you manifest something that is going to be beneficial or help you manifest something that's not. So consultant, whatever, just make sure that you're vetting people. Okay. Cause y'all know how I feel about y'all. I'm really, oh, and Patricia, you said, wait, did you answer me about the baking class as a life skills class? I think I missed it. Let me go back up. Cause I don't, let me make sure I saw what you said. Oh, let me go. Cause sometimes it's the comments are delayed. So I'll be missing some things. Let me go back. Oh, there you go, Patricia. Okay. I see it. You said, your nonprofit is also to bridge a gap from foster care to permanent. Oh, girl. Yeah. Okay. Foster care to permanent housing and also have a baking business. Okay. I need guidance on how to make this a program to introduce to other nonprofits as a life skills class, and they can pay me. And it's a way I can gain a partnership with them. Okay. So y'all know I like to strategize. So when it comes to that, let's see. How about because what you're saying is, okay, we got your baking business. Your baking business here, and you've got your nonprofit here. And so maybe some of the things that you do with the young people in your nonprofit that you're, also maybe teaching them about baking and that sort of thing. But I would suggest when we're thinking about like when baking, culinary arts, nutrition, that sort of thing, I would look at other organizations that maybe have that focus of nutrition or have that focus of culinary arts or have some sort of component that they're working with this population and they need that, right? So maybe even the schools, because right now I know people are like, well, the schools, everything's in limbo. I don't know, they don't know what's going on and I can't really partner with them, especially right now. Schools need support because the students are not, they're not physically there, but there's other activities and things like that you can maybe partner with that fit in with the curriculum with the school. So even if it's high school and these colleges, local colleges or universities, to see if there's some sort of way that you can come in and provide that. We've got the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, and the nonprofit template heaven as well. But I wouldn't, sometimes we feel like we have to have all the different pieces together before and that's another thing I'm talking about, before we actually reach out to explore partnership. But I would reach out to those different entities and see, well, is there a need and what could that possibly look like so that there's an opportunity to collaborate? Because if you feel like, if you come to folk who you potentially want to collaborate with and they feel like you have it all together and you don't even, you didn't even ask what they need or how it's going to look for them, because when you're doing trainings, you're going to have to be able to customize it and tailor it to the client, right? To people who's going to be subcontracting with you. So I would be listening for what is it that they need, right? Even, maybe the health department, right? I'm not sure what state you're in. I be trying to keep up, y'all, but y'all be coming through all over the country, all internationally. But to look at, maybe what are opportunities with the health department or, maybe some of the, there's contracts, like we're thinking about contracts now for the LLC. So that's what I would suggest, and make sure you have a fee for service lined up, which I'm sure you already have. If you don't, there's a template, a nonprofit template having for fee for services, just, kind of get you to thinking about how you could structure your training. Also, partnering with organizations who get workforce development funding. We just need to do Patricia, when you going to book your 1 hour consultation and stop playing so we can talk about this, okay? But those are just some of my initial thoughts, okay? Let me see what else we got here. Who else? Come on. Okay, you said what information you don't need to have in place before paying for the 1 hour. Oh, you said that's your problem. What information you don't need to have in place before paying. Look, I want you to come. That's the thing. And sometimes my clients and y'all will be like, I need to have everything together before I talk to Shalita. Oh, I got to do, I got to do these things first. I want you to come to me with your ideas. Like it doesn't have to be perfected. It doesn't have to. No, the purpose is so I can help you sort of structure it and tease out different things and think about different things before you actually start doing stuff. Right. So there's no judgment. There's no shame at all. You should know me by now. No judgment at all. So whatever, if you don't have anything in place, or if you have something in place, let's just get together. And the way that I've done it too is the cost for the 1 hour consultation is automatically applied to any services that you get. So if you say, I want to move forward, I need the strategic planning, I need your help, Shalita, then I'm going to apply that to what that costs. Okay. So it's a win-win situation. Yeah. And especially we're talking about foster care, right? Because that's what you're talking about too with the nonprofit. And you just have to make a decision as to whether or not, like, what you're going to have going through your nonprofit and what you're going to have with your LLC actually doing. And we could talk about that. Okay. Okay. Baking businesses. Okay. So let me put this. That's right. We're going to help each other. Sugar sharing. So baking business. Okay. And it says social enterprise models to operate under the nonprofit. That is another way as well. There, like, for example, there are churches that own a number of businesses, right? Different types of businesses. They don't have them do the church, but those businesses also help to keep the church going, right? So they're all separate entities. And I've seen other nonprofits like Miss Sandy Washington with Maryland Lifestyles or Lifestyles of Maryland Foundation. She was telling us about how she also has a property management company, right, that handles the business, that handles the properties of the nonprofit. So, I always encourage you all when you start looking at the structures of nonprofit to make sure you enlist a nonprofit attorney. I am not one. I'm not a nonprofit attorney, disclaimer. I'm just telling you how I've seen things work. And how in some cases I've done those things myself and they have worked and they have been in line with the law and things like that. But yeah, that's a social enterprise model. Okay, Anderson, thank you so much. Because taking a step further, provides workforce development, entrepreneur, vocational training. Absolutely. And there's an element of STEAM in there, science, technology, science, technology, engineering, math, but there's an A in there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But there's an element of that when you're baking things. That's why I don't like to bake, because I can cook now. I can cook you something. But baking, like, my patience is, and then you got the chemistry. You put too much water in something, you put the water with the milk, or the milk interact with the vinegar or the whatever. That's chemistry. That's like, that's what I mean. But when we're talking about areas of focus, know your areas of focus, because that way it'll help guide you to the types of funding or, contract opportunities that you can have. Okay. And Patricia, you said you in Georgia. That's why I got a number of clients in Georgia too. I've been intentional about making sure that I'm connecting my clients, especially that are close together, because, I just had a group session or a group coaching session, because I have it once a month, every Thursday, with my current clients and also members, #nonprofit no filter members, where we come together and they support each other, but then they also can ask different questions and, things like that. It's just a wonderful space to be in. And, I had two, Miss Marva, Miss Marva, if you still on here, you was on Miss Marva been on every group call that I've had, and she connected with another organization in her state. So in Michigan. So, this is why this is important. Thank you, Kay Anderson. Arts. The A in STEAM is arts. Yes. Okay. What else we got on here, y'all? What we got? What we got? We still got some moments. We still have some minutes in here. What else? What else should we think about now? Oh, so while I'm waiting for y'all to hop on in here and say some things, opportunity. So this came up for me too. It's continually coming up for me and with my clients, and what I've told you before about feeling like you have to have everything together, feeling like the whole thing has to present itself. And I'm telling you that it doesn't have to be that way, right? So if there's an opportunity for you to build out a program, or for you to step into a role that you might be a little bit, anxious about, a little bit nervous about, but you know that you're qualified for, or your organization can fill a need, I'm going to say there is never a perfect time, right? When people are like, oh, well, maybe right now I can't do this, I can't. And yes, there are life obligations, especially for those nonprofit visionaries who are still working a 9-to-5, which is a lot of us, right? That was me at one point, before I was like, okay, I am ready to step out into my nonprofit vision. And that took a lot of sacrifice. And we will talk. Thanks, Kay Anderson. That's right. You reach out to me so we can have a conversation. But that's maybe something that I can provide some guidance on too, because I'm also hearing that ultimately for many nonprofit visionaries, the goal is, I want to leave my nonprofit, not for profit. You want to keep your for profit, but you're like, okay, I want to at some point be able to work for myself within this nonprofit. And I'm not really sure how to make that transition. And so it's really going to depend on where you are in your life. Because when I initially made my transition from the 9-to-5 that I was working into my nonprofit, there were a couple of things that came, that came into play. One, I didn't have any kids at that point. Me and my husband, I don't even know if we were married at that point, but we might have been almost married, but yeah, almost married. So we talked about that, and I had a conversation with him about that. And he was in a position where the career that he was in and the job that he was working, he could carry us, right? I was like, just give me 6 months. Just give me, and I had also, the job that I was working was also in line with what my nonprofit was going to do. So the job I was at was working with foster youth that was aging out of foster care. What I wanted to do, or my nonprofit, was that very same thing too. So different people who I had already known, who had connected with me and my vision, because y'all know I was also in foster care. And so I'm very vocal about my story and about that piece of me. And I was able to let them know about what I wanted to do with this nonprofit. And so actually there was one woman who I had met through my 9-to-5, who was like, who worked for a private foundation, and was like, oh, here's some money for you to get started for your nonprofit. So that helped me to get the computer I needed, helped me to file my paperwork and things like that. Excuse me. So I had been planning, right, on what this was going to look like. And I knew I had already knew folks who I had been running this idea by, and they were introducing me to other people that could help me move the work forward. And then when I made that decision, because financially I was like, okay, there's still bills to be paid. And then when I spoke to my husband about it, and he was like, I got you, then I was able to jump out. And knowing me, I was like, all right, let's get to it. And within 3 months, actually, I secured my salary, which at that point was $30,000. And I was 25 years old. So also, I go back to, what is your situation? Because right now that would look completely different. I got a 10-year-old. If I was working a 9-to-5 and I wanted to do a nonprofit, you really got to make sure you have some things in place. So give yourself, like, plan 12 months in advance, right? Just like people plan for retirement, plan for when you're going to transition out of your full-time into your nonprofit, and knowing what can you actually do. Because honestly, unless you know a funder or have a contract lined up that's going to give you 6 figures straight out the gate, you're going to have to be okay with, all right, well, I may not be getting what through my nonprofit, what I'm getting at my 9 to 5. So you have to, what sacrifices, compromises are you going to make in order to, initially step into your nonprofit? Now, before you do that, y'all know I'm always telling you about collaborations, partnerships, join committees in the community that are linked to what you want to do in some kind of way. Join work groups, attend the convenings, reach out when you're in these spaces. And I just did a video, or I'm going to put it on YouTube on this. When you're in these spaces, speak up, like be seen, and in a good way, right? Not just to be seen, but be seen so that people can see your magic, so that people can see what you have to offer. And you might be nervous about that, but if you're attending, even now with these virtual meetings, show up and type in the chat box. Like, I feel like I said this to y'all already. Type in the chat box and say, this is wonderful. Like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Because it is, don't lie. Nothing but authenticity. But, step forward and let people see. And if there's something that comes out of, like, some of the work groups I sit on, they're like, okay, well, this is we have an idea and we want to do A, B, and C. If you can see yourself in that idea, if there's something that your nonprofit or that you have to offer that can help move that forward, volunteer for it. There are going to be spaces that you're in that you're not automatically going to get money up front from. Okay. And I know we're impatient and we like, I need to get this money but do you want to just get quick money, or do you want to get funding that's going to sustain you and allow you to thrive? And if it's the latter, then you need to take a step back and sacrifice or compromise some things up front so that people can see and get to know who you are. Right. And everyone is not going to want to partner with you. Everybody is not going to provide an opportunity for you, but you just need one yes. You just need one yes. You just need one person that sees you and connects the dots in their mind. Like one of my mentors, Brenda Donald, she's a director of Child and Family Services, in a DC Child and Family Services. And she was also one of my guests a couple of weeks back. She said this when she said that she noticed me before I noticed her. When I was testifying either in Annapolis or, and it wasn't the first time she saw me. Like I was showing up and no, I wasn't getting paid to show up. I was showing up because I needed to be heard. I needed the people who I was representing to be heard. And I was there and I was consistent. And when people were like, we want to do a work group or we want to do a panel or whatever, I was there. I showed up and she saw me and was like, oh, I need to help her because she can help me. But you won't get those opportunities if you're not in the room, and if you're in the room but you're quiet and you're sitting back. Be seen. This is your time to be seen so that people will build trust with you. And I don't, I ain't preaching at y'all. I ain't assuming that you don't know this. I'm sharing this because there might be somebody that's watching this and that this resonates with, right? Show up and be seen and offer your gifts and talents, right? And then naturally someone will see you, because even on an individual level, there are people watching you every day that you don't even know that are inspired by you. I tell my husband this all the time, because my husband is the opposite of me. He's an introvert, but when he shows up and he speaks, everybody listens. But, he's an introvert. He's not like me, right? But he's had people come up to him and say, you know what, man, when I see you and I see you coming in and you're doing what you're doing and you speak and it encouraged me to keep going. Like, and he didn't even realize that. So let's take it on a personal level and understand the power in that. It's the same thing with your nonprofit. There are people watching you on social media, people who are inspired by you, who don't like your stuff, who don't comment on anything, but you are an inspiration. So in these meetings, act like it. Seek out these opportunities to be in the room. And another thing that the brother said to me earlier, one of my clients, is he was like, he said, I just want to speak from spirit. He said, I don't have the right words sometimes. Like, I can't, like, technically, the made me think of a Living Color skit. you catch it. The this of that, and we were laughing, we were joking. I was like, listen, use the language that you have and step forward, right? Because now when we're talking about, let's take it there with visionaries of color, and we're talking about how there's so many ways that we have been brainwashed, or how many ways that when we talk about white supremacy and we talk about, nonprofit and the structures and things like that, and how we have been conditioned to show up in the world, which is like, I'm going to use their language so that I can be understood by them. But now's the time, and not because y'all know I'm telling you things that we have to do both. Okay. We have to do both, because this is just how we're in a current system that's doing these things. But at the same time, there's an opportunity for us now, especially now, to be able to be heard, and for having with the traditional structures to listen to our language, to learn our language. So I don't want you to feel, I don't want you to feel insignificant because you may not have certain words, you might be able to sound a certain way. You got the passion, you've been doing the work, and you show up and you give them the language to speak to us, okay, and to our communities, because that is what the time that we're in right now. So I don't know who need to hear that, but take it. If you don't need to hear it, then leave it. But you have to show up in power. And Miss Marva, you said, I'm calling my millionaire today. Hold on. You better go ahead now. Okay. What I'm trying to tell you is just be, in Facebook user, you said, okay, I feel intimidated sometimes. Listen, let me tell you something. Honestly, like I've been doing this work for 17 years. I've been Black all my life. And I'm starting to do the work of, because, sometimes we feel like we can't, as BIPOC, as Black people, that there's a lot of external things, white supremacy, racism, that affect our everyday living. And there's also things, like I said, that are embedded into our own way of thinking, because it's been passed down from our ancestors, right? The trauma is in our blood. Like, just like white privilege is subconsciously passed down, consciously and subconsciously passed down to white people, the trauma and the pain of what our ancestors had to experience in this country is passed down in our blood, right? And so us being conditioned by different systems for us to feel like we're inadequate, like we can't show up, and if we do, like, why are we even present? We don't deserve to be in certain rooms. And it's something that I continually also work on in myself, knowing that you can Google me, knowing that I've facilitated all kinds of different things, knowing, that I deliver, and, I have my receipts, knowing those things. Even still, sometimes I'll feel the same way. I'll be like, do I belong here? And y'all see that in the back? I belong here. You belong here. Like, my presence is a gift. Your presence is a gift. Nobody can bring what you can bring. Nobody is you. You have that special sauce, right? Me and my husband would be like this, like, put the seasoning on it. You kind of, you see it? You see the seasoning? Not just the seasoning you put on, you got the sauce, you got that. And so you have to remind yourself of that, whether it's putting it up on your wall, whether it's, putting it on an affirmation in your phone, whether it's you, because that's something that it's a fallacy that's been embedded in our minds about, not being good enough, when we know that we have been raised, right, in one way, shape, or form, to have to do 10 times the work, to have to show up in excellence, So, just don't let that, don't let that, give it a moment, but then push it to the side and remind yourself of who you are, because ain't nobody do it like you. Okay. I just want to say, Kay Anderson, nonprofit industrial complex. You better say it. Coach Malik Wilds, thank you. I'm just trying to speak my truth, Coach. I could be wrong. It don't resonate with everybody, and that's fine. But for those who it resonates with, I'm just trying to tell you the truth. We're at different points of our ability to process truth, or process different things, and I'm okay with that, because if you'd have talked to me 6 years ago about these very things, I probably wouldn't have understood. I probably, I wasn't there. I wasn't doing the internal healing work that I needed to do. I did to be able to process this. So, we all at our different stages. Oh, Juanice. Okay, it says Facebook user. Juanice. Hey, I know you said you was marking your calendar. Hey, boo. And Patricia, you said, I've heard so many times that we need to partner with other nonprofits that are in our field, but I don't know what to say or offer to them. Please tell me where to start. And so what I tell you is start in those meetings, right? Seek out those committee meetings, especially you talking about foster care. So in Georgia, you need to be connected to I don't know if they call it Department of Human Services or whoever oversees foster care. You need to be connected with the agency because they do public and private partnerships. So you need to seek out who is this person that's in charge of outreach at the state level. And because ultimately they also host different meetings for stakeholders, for people outside of the agency to come in and also, be of value and share their perspective and things like that. And that's where relationships are developed. So I would say, and then those other people who are just like you, who are in the community trying to offer a service or a resource or a program, you get to meet them and you get to connect with them there. And then this world is small, especially child welfare is very small. So by the time you start, you attending these meetings and you're being around the table, you're going to see the same people and you're going to be able to see, okay, are they really about the business? Could they be a potentially good partner for me? And then that's when you reach out to come together and see if you can have a meeting first. And then when you have that meeting, you can explore, one, what is it they need? What is it they need? And how can you fill the gap, if at all? And if there's something, because like I said, funders, and regardless of what kind of funding it is, they like to see collaboration. And that's something in our community that we have to get better at. Everybody wants to be the expert. There is no the expert. Everybody are experts in their own way. Everybody are leaders in their own way. So when we can get past that and start to look at how can what I have and what I bring to the table be of benefit to what they bring to the table, because we all can bring different things to the table. Once we get to that point, we will be able to build more effectively, right? And then identify partnerships that you can connect with, and then you can apply for joint funding for something. Okay, so that's what I would say, Patricia, is in those meetings, in those work groups, and those convenings. I'm telling you, if homework, this is your homework. I want y'all to go and seek out, depending on what your area, your issue area is, your area of focus, if it's housing, if it's education, if it's employment, if it's mental health, if it's whatever it is, if it's the animals, if it's the environment, if it's agriculture, I want you to find a group or connect with even the state agency that's responsible for those things. Even if it's on a federal level too, because then you got the federal level and you got the state. Find a meeting, find a committee to be a part of, to join. And you can do that by on your Facebook page, send an email out or send a message out. I'm looking for these types of committees to join. That we always asking for money. So some people just turn, they don't listen. They don't listen when we posting, hit my fundraiser, hit my event, hit my PayPal. People get tired of all that. So, but the moment you say, I'm looking for a committee to serve on in these areas, I bet you people will have committees for you. People will have events that are coming up that will share it with you, because it's a win-win. You're not asking for money. You're asking to be a part or be added value to something. So try it. You ain't got to be like, Shanina, I don't know about that. I want you to try it. Try it. And then show up to the meetings. And when I say show up and be heard and be seen authentically. Like, don't say nothing if you sometimes you just need to observe, but there's ways to observe and then let people know you're still there. Okay. So, Juanice, you said thank you. Okay. Oh no, we got another Facebook user, y'all. If you don't give StreamYard the permission to share your name, it won't give me your name. So this is what I see. Facebook user. Good afternoon, Shalita. How are you? Hey, Facebook user, I am fine. Y'all know And so you said, I've been studying so much, my head hurts, but I'm ready for more homework. All right, now go do that homework. And then when you're ready for some guidance, some one-on-one guidance, you reach out to me, okay? Because you don't have to do this by yourself. We do not have to do this by ourselves in this. All right. So what, we got 6 minutes left. Who else is in here? Y'all know I ain't even eat nothing. You need to get that ring around your lip when you thirsty and you hungry. That's all I've been drinking. You got it. Don't talk about me. I love you, Kay Anderson. I'm gonna put this up here. Use Facebook and Eventbrite as search engines to seek. Yes, thank you. To seek out those events or organizations that you were telling her about. So listen, I had just, stumbled across this wonderful resource called Eventbrite to use it in that way. Like, I've been using it for events and everything. But what, Meetup, Eventbrite, they have so many free events that you can sign up for that in your area. Like, do a search and see what are some virtual things happening. And even in this, there's still some events that are happening that are socially distant, responsible and adhere to the different rules and, regulations of being safe from COVID. Seek them out. Take your mask, and your hand sanitizer with you. But yes, thanks, Kay Anderson. That is a wonderful resource. Anybody else have any other ways that folks can get connected to what's going on in the community or find out about things? Because I'm gonna tell you, don't believe the hype that organizations or grassroots organizations, or there aren't any grassroots organizations addressing issues within our communities. Don't believe the hype. I have the pleasure of being under a subcontract that I have had the pleasure of working with numerous grassroots organizations in Baltimore City. And that's, y'all know, born and raised. That's where I'm from. Baltimore, my heart will always be my heart. And being able to work with them and see what they've been doing on the ground for years, right? I challenge you to, even when we start our nonprofit, we'd be like, oh, ain't nobody else doing this. I'm cool. I ain't hear nothing about what nobody else. I'll guarantee you there's somebody in the community that's addressing it, that's been addressing it, or maybe just started came up with this idea based off of them being present there, right? That you can collaborate with. Don't have hope, right? And be encouraged that there is work going on the ground. We talk about Black on Black violence and how, they need to be doing this and they need to be doing this in the community. They are doing it in the community. And many of you watching this are part of that movement. You are in the community. You've been in the community. So before we fix our lips to say, oh, we need to fix our own, which we do, but there are people working on this. And why don't you find the people who are working on it so you can help them? Okay. So let's go back up to what you say. Okay. So Patricia, you said you just started on IG and you moving to Eventbrite. Okay. Going over to Eventbrite. Okay. And then Kay Anderson, she should check with the local chamber of commerce in her city and county. Absolutely. That's another wonderful resource too. So, you can, and sometimes, like, if you don't, they have individual membership that might be a little bit more affordable if you're concerned about money. But also there's committees that you can join. You don't have to pay anything. I know here I'm in Prince George's County, and in the past I didn't join the Prince George's County Chamber of Commerce, but I was actually on one of their committees. I think it was like sports hospitality and entertainment committee. And I was able to still come and, be of support and to, see what was going on and things like that. So make sure that you do that. That's a really good suggestion. Felicia, how you do? Look, Felicia, community activist. She had the first in New York march Black foster youth lives, like Black foster youth lives matter. Right? Because that's another thing too. We kind of in the child welfare system overlook or people don't like to talk about race. They don't really. We talk about everything else, but when somebody talk about racial inequity and racial bias and historical racism and white supremacy, ooh, people starting to have the conversation now. But, that's always influenced our systems, all of our systems. And so Felicia is a proud alumni of the foster care system that is uniting foster youth, but in general, but also stepping up and helping Black foster youth to be able to express themselves so we can change the system. Okay. Hey, boo, you know how I feel about you. See how you know how I feel about you. Okay, Kay Anderson got some other resources. So another source is Community Development Corps in the city and county. I hope y'all take screenshotting this or something. Okay. Yep. And then check their websites for events happening in person and virtually. The information is out there. Look, before membership, because you need to have, and this is, it makes sense, right? Before you start, before you start paying your money for different types of memberships, you need to see if it's going to actually be beneficial to you. And so they provide the memberships will provide you opportunities to be involved, to get to know them, to kind of see, what they have to offer, so that when you do get membership, you'll know that it's actually worth it. Your return on investment is going to be worth it. So, and Patricia said, thank you, Kay Anderson. Yes. Look, notes. Yes, y'all. Take them notes now. Take them notes. And there was something I was going to say to y'all. We got, there was something I was going to say to y'all. Oh, listen, y'all need to be sharing these videos. Share this. If you're watching and you're like, oh, okay, this is some good information, I need you to share it so other people can get the information as well. Right? And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe. It's free. It is free. And if you haven't liked my Facebook page, like it. It's free. Hey, so you'll get notification of these. I'm going to see who we going to have on next week. I need to get back on it. I got to make sure before I had everybody planned up, like 2 months out. We got a lot going on, So I'll get back on that and let you know who we're going to have on here. But I also wanted to be people or experts that you want to hear from. So, if there's anything we haven't talked about, or if you want a different perspective or whatever, let me know what that is, so that I can make sure I know somebody who I can bring on, to talk about different aspects. And then Candace says, my pleasure. See, that's what sugar sharing is, y'all. Y'all know, I'm telling you, the sugar sharing, the sugar sharing, back in the day when you could go to your neighbor, and some people might still be able to do that. I can do that with like 2 of my neighbors. You knock on their door and you need some sugar. You say, Miss Sister Jenkins, I need some sugar. I ran out of sugar. Oh, baby, absolutely. Here you go. She go get you a cup of sugar. You go, thank you, Miss Jenkins. You go back, and then when you go to the grocery store, you remember, let me go over here to my neighbor, Miss Jenkins, and make sure I give her this sugar back. And you know what? I'm gonna give her some eggs too. I'm more. You know what I'm saying? That's sugar sharing. You share the sugar, okay? We got to be resources to each other. It don't hurt me to give you a resource. It don't hurt you to give somebody else a resource. In fact, we're all in this bag together, right? So it helps us. It helps us all. Okay, and Hope, you said, good afternoon. I'm just tuning in. Thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge. I had a question, but my lunch break will be over soon. What's your question? What's your question real quick? And then maybe I can answer it. And then it's going to be recorded. So even if you have to jump off, you can always go back and take a look at it. And then Anderson said, time well spent while doing monthly reports on this grant. That has worked my... Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. Oh, we might need to talk about that, Kay Anderson. Grant reports. Once you get the money, right? Everybody like, I need this money. I need to get this grant. And then they give it to you. And then you got to make sure that you are doing what you say you're going to do. You're collecting the information you say you're going to collect. And then they tell you how they want you to report it back to them. So then that's the whole other thing. Okay. So we talk about that too. Okay. Hold up, Miss Marva. Hold up. She gonna say I'm too young for sugar sharing. Let me tell you, Miss Marva. Look, my grandmama, because she pretty much raised me. I know her sugar sharing. I know people come ask her for stuff all the time, and she would get, she give it to them. Sugar sharing. Just like I know about Al Green and all of them. I know about the Sam Cooke. I know about them. My grandmama made sure. Oh, Felicia, you said you would love for me to address leadership within social services and accountability. Oh, you got to tell me more about what angle, because that's kind of broad. Yeah. You let me know, because I have worked within social services before, so I know the inside, and I also know the grassroots or the external side. And there's some things that we say, that we think should make sense on the outside, that if you understand how systems work internally, it doesn't pan out to be that way. And it's not always that the people that are inside are intentionally trying to not move things forward. It's just because we have these systems that were built on certain ideals, they are operating the way that they were built. And so it makes it a little bit difficult. So yeah, you let me know specifically, Felicia, and you got my information. So you just shoot me an email, send me a text message, and I'll make sure that I address that. You said, do you suggest joining your membership or the one-on-one first as a nonprofit? Money is funny. I would say, honestly, because the information, like the YouTube videos and stuff, those are free. You've already been taking advantage of those. If you need a little bit more, like the membership is wonderful if you're still trying to work on your own, because the Build It membership, that's the $95 a month, which includes 30 minutes of one-on-one time with me, right? So if you want to test that out, but that's not that far from an initial consultation. Initial consultation is $197. Right. So, and I guarantee you, anybody that's on here that has worked with me, that I go way above and beyond when it comes to initial consultation. It's almost like a mini planning session. So I would say, you've been watching my videos, you've been doing the research, you need some guidance and some clarity, then you should do the consultation. Okay. Candace said a whole nother combo. I'm gonna have to bring you on as a guest. Okay, so you can tell them about it, because Lord have mercy, people don't understand. Okay, so how the whole administrator responsible for yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Because there's so many other dynamics that people do not understand that happen within agencies. It's you could have an administrator that's like, I'm here for these kids and I'm here for this and I'm ready to do this. But if the rules, especially when you have, most agencies, all the agencies are held accountable by the feds, by the federal government, right? So if on the federal level, there is direction and some, they don't use the word mandatory, but the federal level is passing things down and requirements onto the states that they have to do. And if you think about when it comes to grassroots organizations, and we talk about our social workers who are watching, we talk about micro, macro, meso, micro, individual, macro, community contacts, that was micro, individual, meso, community, and macro is more on like a broader scale. On those different levels, the further away you get from micro, the further away you get from what actually makes sense in the community. And then there's this thing about, well, how can you legislate or at a federal level or require or put the human back into the work? It's complicated, and we'll talk more about it, but I just want y'all to Felicia, what'd you say? She said, Shalita will feed you literally with what you need and more to move forward. I'm telling you right now. Look, Ms. Marva said it. Look, I ain't paying them to say these things, okay? Felicia said you're realizing that now. Yes. It's multi-layered and internal and external policy. Absolutely. And when we're talking about, especially when we're talking about, as people of color, understanding now and seeing more into the roots of where this policy comes from, and trying to dismantle those different pieces is really going to require an entire effort, like a grand scale effort of everybody that's working within agencies, not just at a state level, but on the federal level. And I think, people are starting to have the conversation. There's a lot of people who want this conversation, and there's a lot of people who have benefited from not having this conversation. So it's complex, but one day at a time. We all have a part to play. Okay, so Hope you said I like to give away boxes of food and household supplies to single mothers for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm just starting off my nonprofit for single mothers and have been using my personal. However, the giveaway is going to require more help. I was going to post a video on my business page and social media platforms. So is that a good idea? Do you have just right? So I would say start with your board, and if your board isn't helping you with getting the word out or raising the funds, then we need to put the effort into building our board. Yeah, because otherwise you're going to be trying to do this consistently, raising funds on your own. Okay, look, Candace, I'm saying what I know, right? Do I know what I know? Okay, micro, meso, and macro. Everybody ain't ready for that, but you know. Look, all right, y'all. I love you. I ran over by 9 minutes. I'm sorry, but I get caught up and swept up in my feelings, and I just want to make sure you have what you need. So if you do need that one-on-one support, I got it going down here at the bottom here. Either become a member, just go to the website, ShalitaO'Neal.com, and see what I have to offer. See if it's a good fit. Move with spirit, right? Your intuition, your spirit. If it's like, yeah, I think she can help me, then reach out. Let's do a consultation. Okay, let's do that. Even on my website is a quiz that you can take to see if you just have an idea, you're not sure what you want it to be. You can take the quiz, give you some feedback, some a little bit more clarity, and then you want to come talk to me, we can do that. If you're like, I ain't ready, that's fine too. I've got people who've been watching my YouTubes for 3 years and haven't really reached out yet. And then I've had people who have been doing that and they've reached out just recently and they're like, okay, I'm ready. It's all about where you are. I'm not going anywhere, but your vision is not going anywhere either. So you might want to act on that. So until next time, I say be blessed, be real, have fun, get results. Go on the website, see how I can help you. All right. And share this and like and subscribe. I love y'all. Keep your head up. Keep moving forward. We're in this together. All right.